Buenos dias, chicos. Today we're going to begin stem changing verbs. For the majority of you, this should be a review. If you are having any trouble with it, you can always refer to page 5 in your textbook. We're going to go through some of the basic stuff first, and then we'll watch a quick video. I think it's going to be one of your favorites. So let's continue. Remember that in Spanish, there are 3 groups of stem changing verbs. We're going to go through each group, and then you'll see more examples of those verbs, and I'd like for you to make sure that you copy down the verbs, okay? Especially what they mean. You'll need to know that. Remember, too, stem changing verbs we sometimes call boot verbs, and we call them that because all of the forms that are within the boot change. Those that are not inside the boot, nosotros and vosotros, do not have the change. So let's see. Let's take a look at the first group. The first group we're going to call the E to IE change. Here's our first example, the verb perder, which means to lose. Notice now if I take my cursor and start at the yo form and go down to the to, usted, head on over to ustedes, go around, head back up to the yo form, that actually forms a boot. So pierdo, pierdes, pierde, pierden. All the forms inside the boot, therefore they're going to have the change. But notice over here, perdemos and perdes, nosotros and vosotros do not have the change. The next slide, I'm going to show you a list of verbs that are going to conjugate just like perder. So make sure you copy down the conjugation of perder, lo siento, and then now make sure you copy down all of these verbs and what they mean. Okay, I'm going to continue, but you can always pause at any time if you'd like. If you still need to keep copying. Okay. The next group we're going to see are groups, the group that changes from the O to UE. The first verb we have here is the verb poder. Again, like I said, if I start at the yo form with my cursor, puedo, go down to the to, puedes, usted, puede, head on over to ustedes, pueden, go around, come on back up to the yo form, I'm going to form a boot. Okay, what's outside of the boot? Podemos, podeis, no stem change. All right. Next, we have a list, again, of verbs that have the O to U. Make sure I'm going to put a little asterisk next to the first one, because this is the one that has a U to UE change. It's still going to look very similar to the other verbs, but instead of making a fourth group, I figured I would just include it here, okay? So make sure you copy these down. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. Again, you can pause. The third and last group are the E to I. Here's our example, the verb pedir, okay? Again, I'm going to create that boot, starting with pido, pides, pide, heading on over to piden, up and around, and back to the yo form. There's my boot. Okay. Here we have a list of verbs that are going to conjugate like pedir from the E to I. Okay. Not as many, but what I do want to show you, because they're a little strange, the verbs reír and sonreír, I'm going to conjugate them for you. Just so you can see what they look like and that you have the correct conjugation and spelling. We have reír, río, ríes, ríe, reímos, reís, ríen. Notice all the I's are in red, and what else is special about them? They all have accents. The only difference between reír and sonreír, you'll notice here, is I have son in front. Okay, other than that, all the forms are the same, and verb obviously means something else. But do notice that all the I's have the accents. Okay. All right. Vamos a un video.
Hello. Today we're going to give you a quick refresher course on stem changing verbs.
Stem changing verb.
Remember, stem changing verbs are nothing to worry about.
The stem of a verb is the part that is left after you drop the AR, ER, or IR off the infinitive. Stem-changing verbs have a spelling change in certain forms. Check out how the O in poder changes to UE, and pedir gets its E changed to an I.
Just to be clear, let's do a run-through of these two verbs. Poder, to be able.
Remember, the stem changing rule for this verb is pretty straightforward. The O in the stem changes to UE in all forms except nosotros, nosotras, and vosotros, vosotras.
You should be an old pro at poder, to be able. Puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, podéis, pueden. And remember, it's a boot verb. To say what you are able to do, you use the infinitive after poder.
Puedo cantar. Podemos bailar.
Now it's time to ask for what you want. Oh, gracias.
Pedir. To ask for. Pido. Pides. Pide. Pedimos. Pedís. Piden.
Ana pide mucha comida. Pides la cuenta.
Now it's your turn. Fill in the blank with the correct form of poder or pedir.
Poder. Tú, ir más tarde. Tú puedes ir más tarde. Poder. Nosotras, cocinar el pollo. Nosotras podemos cocinar el pollo. Pedir. Ella, un plato de paella. Ella pide un plato de paella. Pedir. Yo, su número de teléfono. Yo pido su número de teléfono.
Excellent, chicos. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Now what we have here in the last slide is some extra practice that I'd like for you to do tonight for homework. Core, page 2, in your big book, pages 7 and 8. And also I'm going to click on to this link, which will bring us to this activity. Just move on over. Okay. So all you need to do is complete Juan's description of his summer by conjugating the verbs in parentheses in the present tense. Again, what's nice about this activity is that there's only one verb to choose from, but do refer to your notes that you should have been taking during the slideshow. Excelente. Buena suerte, chicos, y nos vemos. Ciao.